Hey guys, what's up? Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do is get the rest of the brake lines done. This is an original one. I want to pull this out. Pull those old ones out. We had to cut them originally off the master cylinder because they were seized on there. So we need to replace those. So let's finish the brakes. That way we know the brakes are done. And then we're going to start trying to fit the floors in. All right, I think the first thing we can do is just kind of put the master cylinder in its place. All right, we got that tied in. It had a couple of 13mm nuts on it. And it's locked on there pretty good. So it's got 3 outlets here. 1, 2, 3. One goes all the way back to the back wheels. One goes to the left driver's side, and one goes to the right passenger side. And then you got your 2 cables here, connectors here, and that's it. All right, so we got to go underneath here, and it's got a couple of bolts holding the lines on with these clips. Those are 10mm. There's one there, and there's one up in here. It's gonna be tight to get to, and then there's another one here right next to the master cylinder. So we're gonna get those 3 off. Those are 10mm. All right, we got that one loose. We'll clean those up a little bit and put those back on. All right, it's loose now. We should be able to pull this out. There's a grommet holding it in here, it's old dried up grommet, which we have new ones, so we'll put new ones in there. Yeah, they're just falling apart. Well, they're 60 years old almost. Been in there a long time. I don't know if that'll go through there. Gotta fight that out of there. It's got some interesting curves on it. All right, let's see if we can replicate this old one here, the new one. Pretty close. Should be able to tweak it a little bit once we get it in there. I'm gonna do this bend right here. Let's see if we can get these floors in rusty. I finished up the brakes. All the brake lines are in. Master cylinder's in. Let's see if we can get the dog legs, seat pedestals, get the floor and get the steering column in, get this thing hooked up and going. So basically we need to get these pieces put in there temporarily. That piece I'm gonna actually put a couple of welds on it to hold it into place, because this piece goes here and you can't, there's really nowhere to screw it down. So I'm gonna tack a little weld there and back in here, get it into this, get it where it needs to be, and then we can put the floor on top of it. But we're not gonna weld it in there like, you know, heavy duty. We want to be able to get it back off if we need to, because the idea is to get it out to the farm shop, take the stuff back out, do another coat of rust encapsulator on this, do all the metal work that we need to do up in here, maybe work on the doors a little bit, try to get some of this cleaned up, and work on the cargo floors, the back area. It's gonna make a lot of noise and it's gonna make a lot of mess, so we're gonna do it out there. All right guys, so I'm not gonna spend a lot of time trying to get everything lined up perfectly, because this is temporary. I will spend a little bit of time to try to get it close, but let's see what we can do. It's not going to be a perfect fit right now. There's a lot of adjustment that has to happen with this piece in here, and we might have to adjust it as we go, but it's not too bad. Let's see if we can get the seat pedestal in there. That'll work. We could probably use the smaller screws on that. What did that take, like 5 minutes? Not too bad. So, you know, this is temporary, but it's kind of cool to fit it in here and feel just with those screws how solid it becomes. It's pretty cool. Like, that feels really solid. Imagine when it's all welded in, it's going to be super solid. And there's only one screw right here on the back here, and it's held down pretty good. All right, let's do the other side. See where the original line was right here? Dennis left that there so he could match it up later. I think I've heard Mike F talk about that too, leaving a, you know, something from the original as a indicator of where the new one should go. So far so good. I know it's not perfect, but it's not bad. Not bad for a temporary fit. Nice. All right. Check it out. Solid. Probably put another one here. I'm gonna get the floor in first, and then we'll put a couple more here and there, but get the floor in. I get this thing in here. I've got a pretty good idea where it goes, but you could be off a little bit, and it might not be good. So you almost have to put the floor in, line everything up somehow, and then tack this into place. I'm not sure how we can do that. I don't know if I can hold it in place. So the vice grips hold it pretty good right there. Let's put the floor in and see if we can get it to line up. All right, I think we're lined up pretty close. I got up under there and moved it around a little bit. Got the holes lined up. Basically, what we need to do is be able to line up this bracket here. I don't know if it goes that way or this way. And this bracket here. And then the screws will go through here. And then they'll screw into this bracket from underneath. This will go underneath, and this is the shift rod. So we need to get up underneath and put that in. And then this will go, the shifter will go through here from underneath. And then it all connects in here. Then we'll get the emergency, the parking brake in. The European guys keep telling me it's not an emergency brake, it's a parking brake. So apparently if you're in an emergency, This isn't gonna help. All right, so I'm gonna get up under there and actually tack it from underneath, because I think if I try to pull the floor back out right now, it'll move that bracket underneath. So it's lined up good. See how the holes are lined up? I think that's pretty close to where we need to be, guys. So I'm gonna put a couple tacks underneath with the welder. Stand by. Here's the bracket, and we want to tack it right here, and on the back side. Just get it tacked into place the best we can from under here. Then we'll lift the floor up and tack it a couple more times, and we should be good for now. All right, guys, let's get the floor back out and see what we're working with. Okay, it held it in place from underneath, and now we're going to come up here and tack it above. So we have a nice secure piece here. We'll tack it over here too really good. Get this in so we don't have to worry about it. It might not be exactly where it's supposed to be, but it'll work for now. All right, I think that'll work for what we need to do. Basically, we just need to be able to put the gear shifter in here and the emergent parking brake and not have it come off. It feels pretty sturdy. Feels really sturdy, so I think we're good there. Okay guys, we're getting closer. Check it out. It's in there pretty tight. The next thing we need to do is get the steering column in here, but we have to put it in loose. Gotta get the floor in, the steering column, and those both have to go in kind of at the same time. And then you get the steering column up in there, and then you can push the floor down. So let's do that now. I am going to fill the steering box with some fresh oil. All right, we put some oil from this jug into this one, because this one has the little filler hole, funnel on top. It's big enough to go into here. So I've already drained this previously. It's all drained out, and I actually put regular motor oil in there, like just to lube it up a little bit, and then cleaned it out again. All right, so let's see if we can get the floor and the steering column in there. Almost had it, but forgot to put those in there. So pull it back out. Every time you pull it back out, you have to fight these pieces of rusted metal here that get hung up on the new floor. So you hit that with a flathead screwdriver. Let's try that again. All right, got the wires in there. So everything's lining up pretty good. We got a little bit of wiggle room here we can mess with. Floor fits really snug. Obviously this piece here is missing. We'll address that once we get it out there. But it fits, overall fits pretty good. So the steering column is here. We're gonna lift it up, get it into place, and keep moving forward. Steering column is held on with these, it's held on with these 5 bolts. These are what, 17? They're held on with these 17 millimeter socket nuts. These are the original ones. All right, and they go up in here. We're gonna get this put on, stand by. All right guys, I'm going under. Let me know how it looks from up here. Let's see what it looks like under here. I got a couple in so I don't have to hold it up anymore. All right, so here's what we're looking at. We've got these 3 here that we just put in. And there's 2 that go under here. 1 here and 1 here. And then I've already replaced this seal a few months back. And then this nut comes off. And you hook up the Pitman Arm, I think that's what that's called. So this goes on here, and you're supposed to line up these 2 lines here. See, there's a line there, and there's a line on here. So you're somehow supposed to line those up. Right now they're not. So I gotta mess with the steering wheel and see if I can get that lined up properly. So stand by. Get the steering wheel. See if we can get those notches to line up. If I remember correctly, the Woodruff key goes straight down. So where's the middle point? Let's see. Let's see this. So that's all the way to the left. That should be close, I think. Let's try that. Let's see if that gets us close to where we need to be. All right, that's pretty much straight. Let's go see what it looks like underneath. All right, so we're underneath, and the line on the steering box is straight back. And then if we put this up here, see, you can adjust it here, so we can turn this in or out to get it closer to line up. So I'm gonna mess with this adjustment and try to get those lined up as close as possible. Adjusted this out pretty far. There's still some up in there you can mess with. I'm not sure how far back you can go with it, but I'm assuming you could at least go to that notch right here. And then this locks it down. So you adjust it where you need it. I've never done this before, guys, so bear with me. And then lock that down. Now, I compared it to the one I took out, and the one I took out was not this far adjusted out. So it's possible that there's some other adjustment on here. Maybe there's an adjustment on the steering box, or maybe the steering wheel is now out of whack. Yep, so the steering wheel is turned now. So something happened. Oh, well, the wheels are crooked too, so all right. So So yeah, there's definitely some adjustment between the tie rods, the steering box, the link, whatever that other thing's called, Pitman Arm, whatever it's called, so that your steering wheel is straight and that your wheels are straight. So we're definitely gonna have to fine tune that somehow. Steering wheel is pretty straight right now. And you know, when I had my old yellow F-250, I took it over to Roy's house, and my steering wheel was crooked. And we took it on a test drive. He took the steering wheel off while we were driving, and I found the sweet spot where it was straight and put it back on and tightened it down. I thought that was pretty cool. So there's definitely some tricks to it. I'm not sure if you can do that with the Volkswagen or not, but see, the wheel's crooked, but we can mess with the toe in and toe out, I think is what it's called, here, to straighten the wheels. But again, that's gonna mess with the steering wheel. So we're gonna have to mess with this to get this just right. But if you guys have any tips or tricks on the process of adjusting basically the alignment here with the steering wheel and the steering box and getting everything lined up just right, comment below and let us know what we can do to get this straight. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it down for now. We can always loosen it back up and mess with this. This shouldn't keep us from putting the rest of the stuff in. We can always come and mess with this under here. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on now and continue on with the clutch pedal, brake pedal, accelerator pedal, and getting the shift rod put in. All right, making some progress. Look at that, steering wheel's in there. Like I said, we need to do some fine adjustments on the steering and everything, but we can do that after. We need to put the steering bracket on there and let's get the gear shifting rod in there. Stand by. All right, I'm gonna slide this rod underneath, and then we'll try to put everything in. We might need a hand doing this. Oh yeah, it's tight under here, boys. How does that go in here? Yeah, you really need two people to do this because this bracket floats under here. There's really no way to hold it. So you need someone under there holding that while you're putting this on. And then this needs to go through here. The screen needs to go on. It's gonna be a little tricky. Something like that. I don't remember if there was washers on these or not. Seems like there should be. All right, guys, I got my son Evan underneath giving me a hand here. Hopefully we can get these lined up. You see that bracket? Yep. You see that screw? Yeah. Huh? Yeah. That flashlight's magnetic. You can set it up where you need to.
I don't need it.
Okay. I forgot to put the washer on this one. I think we'll be okay for now. We'll just snug it up and hook everything up, and I can always go back and get that going. That's kind of difficult to line up. All right, guys. So I'm working on getting the shift rod in, and I realized I bought a new one, and I forgot to put it in. We will put it in later, but you basically have to pull the transmission out to get to it. So we're not doing that right now. But the old one's in there. It's all rusty. And the whole pipe, this whole thing needs to be lubed up with grease. And you need to grease that whole pipe in there so it won't rust. And this one's pretty rusty, so I've been hitting it with some sandpaper cloth. And got it cleaned up pretty good, but it's still a really tight fit into the shift rod. But I've just been slowly kind of forcing it in there to get those holes lined up so we can put this new coupler on here. Get the coupler on there and then put the screw in and get it locked down. So that's what I'm working on under here. I got a few more I gotta come over just a little bit more, so I'm kind of just rocking this thing back and forth really hard and knocking it in. It's tight. Oh, also, there was an old boot on here, and this coupler, I forget what they call it, but there was a boot and coupler facing this way. I don't know if it's just supposed to keep dirt from getting in there, and I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we have new ones of these. I'm not gonna put them on yet. I'll wait till we put the new rod in and all that stuff, but just to test fit, see how all this fits. But yeah, this one on here, and this one on here. All right, guys. Well, we have the shifter in, but we're gonna have to take these back off, which is fine because I need to put a washer under here anyway, because we need to move the whole shift rod forward, because now we've connected those two. They're super tight, but I went to go into to hook up the rear coupler, this one here. I went to go hook this up to the transmission, and there's not enough room up in here to get this in here. So either the transmission has to come out or this rod has to go forward. And it's already connected to the shift rod. So if we disconnect those two bolts holding it to the floor, we can move this forward enough to slip this on, and we can move it back and screw everything down. So that's where we're at. That's gonna do it for this one. Stay tuned for the next one.